Hi, this is Lisa from Art, Faith, and Fellowship, and I wanted to make this short tutorial for those of you that have purchased one of our art kits or workshops, or maybe you've just downloaded one of the free tracers from our website. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps of transferring an image from one of our printable tracers to your canvas using a sheet of carbon paper and a pen. So let's get started. So as you can see, here we have our printable tracer, and we are going to transfer it to our canvas. I'm using an 11 by 14 inch canvas today. As you can see here, this one is labeled top, and this one is labeled bottom. Typically, you are going to get two tracer sizes, 11 by 14 and a 16 by 20. And here is a dotted line where we'll be cutting. So here I have a pair of scissors, and now I'm just going to cut across the dotted line. And we'll just discard that piece. And then now we're going to line up the top and the bottom so that they match. And they may not match precisely, but you want to get as close as possible. You can of course fix it all when you are drawing the lines. So once you have the two halves lined up, we're going to take some tape. You can use Scotch tape or masking tape or washi tape, whatever you have on hand. And then we're just going to tape the pieces together. You'll want to place your tape in an area that does not have any lines, because it's going to be a little bit difficult to draw over the tape. So make sure to put one on each side, and I like to fold it over to the back side. And then we're going to go around and do the other side as well. And fold that over. It's a lot easier if you're not wearing painting gloves like I am. All right, so you can see here we have our two pieces. We're going to set this aside, and now we're going to move over to our carbon paper. This carbon paper has two sides. It has a dull side, and then it has a shiny side. You'll always want to have the shiny side down, because that's the side it's going to transfer onto the canvas. You know, as you can see, it has some excess on it, so we are going to need that, cut that as well. So I'm just going to line it up with the top page, and if you lift it up, you should be able to see there's a shadow from the paper underneath it if you have good lighting. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, cut along that line, and just throw that end away. So there's one piece. For 11 by 14, you will need two sheets of carbon paper. So we're just going to do the same thing, and we're going to place it in the exact same spot, right at the top, kind of line it up, and then eyeball it and cut off the excess. Right? And so now we have a top and a bottom. Of course, we're going to see that now the bottom piece is too long, so we are going to line that up with the bottom half. So just line it up against that dotted line, and you can see there's a lot of excess there. Again, I'm just going to lift it up so that light will reveal the page beneath it, and I'm just going to roughly cut along that edge and discard that. And so now we have our two pieces of carbon paper that fit our canvas. And just like we did with the printable tracers, we are going to tape these pieces together. So let me grab the Scotch tape. Now this time I'm going to go ahead and tape it directly to the canvas. So you can see I'm folding it right around to the back side of the canvas. And remember, make sure you have the shiny side down on both sheets of your carbon paper. Now let's go over to the other side and just make sure that's lined up. Fold it over. Now we're going to take our design tracer, which is the two tracers taped together. We are going to line that up on our canvas and make sure it is straight and even. And then now we are going to tape that down on top of the carbon paper. Again, you'll want to place the tape in an area where there are no lines or designs. So here's an empty spot here. Okay, so here's another piece here, and then I'm going to go ahead and add another piece right at the bottom. All right, so it seems pretty secure now. All right, so we have our canvas, our carbon paper, and our design. So now I'm just going to take a plain old ballpoint pen. You can use pencil if you like. I prefer to use a ballpoint pen, and I also prefer to use one that is in a different color than the actual design. You can see the lines here are black. Try to use something that's blue or purple or red, just a different color. It helps you to see where you have not traced the lines. Now all you're really going to do is trace over the lines. Now you can see that I am not precise when I do this because I know that I'm going to go over it with acrylic paint and it's going to cover those lines. You can see in the grass area, I'm kind of just roughly do some zigzags, but I am not precise. So you're definitely going to want to do this line across here. That is going to separate the sand of the beach from the ocean. Now we're going to move over to this big flower. Okay, so now we're going to move over to the flamingo, and we're going to start with the legs here. And as I was explaining earlier, I'm sure you'll notice that purple ink. Oh, my puppy just popped up. No, no, no. Okay, she just popped up for the first time. She has been trying to get up here for a while, and she just figured out how to shimmy her way up the backside of the window onto my work table. Okay, let's see if she goes back. Okay, so back to tracing. All right, so now let's go back to the flamingo and start tracing around the body. Oh, okay, she's up here completely now. Okay, let me just move her aside. Sorry about that. Okay, oh. Okay, just a second. Okay, so back to tracing. Now we're going to come around and just add some zigzags for the tail. Right, and then feel free to turn your canvas around to make it more comfortable when you're tracing over these lines. And let's do the beak. And don't forget the little details like the reflections on the beak and the eye. Right, and then we need to definitely draw this line here that's going to separate the sky from the ocean. And I believe we are done. Oh, let me get... Okay, so just double check everything to make sure that you have gotten... Oh, I forgot the little pupil. All right, so now we're just going to double check everything, and then we are going to peel off the tape. Okay, and then please ignore all the sounds you're hearing from my puppy. Okay, so let's just pull off this tape and this one over here. Oh, okay. So once she has learned this trick, okay, so now that she's learned this trick of how to get up here, she is not going to forget. So you saw it here first, guys. Paloma learns to climb on the painting table. Okay, so once you have the tape off, well, we don't have it off completely. 1 second. Okay, now you're just going to carefully lift the pages and reveal the image underneath. So you can see everything. So you can see everything was traced. We have our flamingo and our flower and our... You can see we traced everything. So you can see everything went through. If it didn't, you can just lay it flat and carefully fill in any areas you missed. All right, so now that we have the vertical one, oh my goodness. So now that we have a vertical canvas. Okay, so now that we have a vertical canvas trace, I'm going to show you, if I can, show you how to trace a horizontal canvas. This is also going to be an 11 by 14. So on this one, you're going to see that it has left and right on it. You're going to see this one will say top left and top right. And it has a dotted line where we're going to cut. Okay, so we're going to just cut it across the dotted line like we did for the vertical one and place our pieces together like a puzzle. And if you're tracing for an 8x10, which is for like the children's art kits, you would only need to do one. So you wouldn't have to worry about taping or cutting pieces together, because one sheet would cover your entire 8x10. At that point, all you would have to do is tape your image down to your canvas. Okay, if you were transferring a design for a 16x20, which I would show you, but I don't have enough room here on the table. But you will actually have 4 sheets of paper that you would cut and then piece together like a puzzle with tape. And they would all say, you know, top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, which makes it really easy to know where to place it. So this one, I'm just going to tape it right here on the dotted line at the top, and then another piece right here on the bottom, and fold it over the back. I'm not going to place a piece of tape in the middle, because in the middle is where my design is, or the swimsuit or the arms, and I don't want to have to try to trace over that. So the top and the bottom should be fine. As you can see, I'm just going to use that exact same piece of carbon paper that I used for the flamingo. You can use carbon paper many, many times. So we already have that taped and ready to go. Just make sure that you have the shiny side facing down. And it already had some of that tape on it, so I'm actually just folding that tape over on the top and the bottom. And then now I'm going to place the tracer on top, line it up with the canvas, and then I'm going to place a piece of tape right here in this blank spot, fold it over the back, and another piece of tape right here on this side. Just make sure you keep it straight so that it transfers evenly. All right, and that looks like that's it. For this one, we just are going to grab our ballpoint pen and begin our tracing. So I'm going to start with the 2 lines here. We have our beach line and our ocean line. And feel free to angle your canvas in whichever direction is comfortable for you. And let's just begin tracing. And let's see how far we get before Paloma jumps back up here. All right. So just follow along the lines. I'm being a little bit more precise on this one because it has a lot of small details, such as, you know, the swimsuit line, we have the hair and the ribbon. So I will take a little bit more time with this one than I did with the flamingo, where the flamingo just had a couple of large designs. Since this is a little bit of a tedious process, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video here, because I know you pretty much got the idea of what to do. Don't forget the seagulls up here. All right, so now once you have finished tracing everything, just double check your design, make sure you didn't miss any spots. And then we're going to fold that carefully, peel that back, and reveal our design. And you can see that everything transferred through. And what's great is these lines are visible, but they're not too dark. So the paint will cover them completely. Now, if you wanted them to be a little bit darker, or if you feel like the transfer is a little bit, you know, just too faded or difficult to see, you are welcome to take a Sharpie marker and trace over them, or you can also use a paint pen and trace over the lines. I would stick with just straight black because we're going to probably outline everything in black anyway. So that's pretty much it when it comes to transferring your tracer to your canvas. You just need carbon paper and a ballpoint pen. You can usually find carbon paper at your local art supply store or office supply store like Staples. I will also put a link in the description box where I buy mine. I get mine on Amazon. So I'll put a link in the description box below. All right, so thanks for watching this video. I hope it helped you out to better understand the transfer process. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below. And if you'd like to purchase any of our paint kits or online workshops, visit our website, artfaithandfellowship.com. So that's it. Goodbye for now from me and Paloma. We'll see you next time. God bless. What's the matter, Paloma? Paloma, why are you mad? Paloma.